Full disclosure, I designed these frames, I own this company. Huge episode, we're gonna have a celebration. Gear Talk is the show where we talk about the gear. We talk about how to make the perfect skate for you. Yeah. If you know what wheel bite protection is, and that it's not something that you get from your orthodontist for sleeping and snoring, that I'm not fighting the skates, not fighting the gear. I want to fight the obstacles. I want to fight the ramps and the rails and the ledges that I'm skating, not the wheels that don't feel right or the bearings that make a clicking sound or something like that. I don't get to skate very often, maybe an hour a week, twice a week if I'm lucky. We would love to answer your questions. Make sure that you tag Back to Blading, ampersand at Back to Blading on the chat so that I can see it. It comes up in orange and I'm able to see anything that tags me that way. I'll be able to answer your questions. Leave a comment on one of the videos. We love wearing helmets. Not really, but you know, you are standing on wheels and the wheels move. If you are outside of the US, we will send you cash. Absolutely no stress, no pressure. I am skating my Adapt Brutalis. The cuff is actually a little flexy. 6088 with the Chroma anti-rocker wheels on the inside. Not really feeling the skating out in that weather. All right. A little bit of water. Let's take some questions. I always have a little bit of swizzle in it. Again, full disclosure, 28.5 centimeters. It's all Lawrence powered. Full disclosure, I designed these frames, I own this company. All right. Little bit of a technical difficulty, but the timing was amazing. So this morning woke up and our friend Greg on the Slack put together this crazy song about everything Gear Talk. And it just so happens that today was the 100th episode. So I said, why not add that to the beginning of the show because it made me laugh. I hope it made you laugh. Also, some great pictures of Todd. Can never go wrong with pictures of Todd. He is by far the most muscular guy I know. he rollerblades. So 100 episodes, woo! Hope everybody is doing great out there. I got a couple things, weird technical issues, but I think we should be in good shape. Everybody seems okay. Sound right? Is that right? If you can hear me, let me know. I think you can hear me. After doing the video and the audio not working, I'm not taking any chances. Is it working? Yes. Somebody say yes. Looks like it's working. Okay. I hear you, Matt. Thank you. Beautiful. New intro. The audio wasn't working. There is audio for that. But that will be a little bit easier than me just staring at the screen and not knowing what the heck is going on. But yes, we should be in good shape. All right, let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to Gear Talk episode 100. Gear Talk is the show that I do every other week where we talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. If you've watched all of these episodes, I appreciate you, I love you. It's been 3 years of doing this, 4 years of doing this. It has been a labor of love, started in my garage, just sweating, no air conditioning, with a few things against me, behind me on the wall, and has now grown to this warehouse that I have an office. I have a dedicated space where I do Gear Talk. I've got probably 50 different pair of skates. I've got a beautiful display with color changing lights so I can put whatever sort of style I want for the night. Today's a party, so we've got the RGB lights going on. I've got lights in the corners and I've got the strip light, so should be nice and festive for the day. Get a little party. Feel free to turn on some music at home if you want, some EDM or whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to have music here, but it is nice. I hope that the picture's coming out nice and it looks pretty on your side because it's the 100th episode. Huge accomplishment. You know, I never thought that I'd make it to 100. It just seems like it's an insignificant number. It's a number, but it is definitely a milestone that I'm really proud of. So thank you all for all the support out there helping me get to this. You know, I don't do this for myself. I do it so that I can help other people and connect with the community and get everybody out there thinking about rollerblading in the middle of the week so that we can go out and skate on the weekends. That's what I like to do. You know, it gets me through that hump because it can be a long week. This week has been very long. Last couple of days especially have been very long. But we're here, we're now, and we're going to talk a little bit about gear. Like I do every episode, I want to thank my friends over at thehelmetinitiative.org for helping us with our helmet giveaway. I always say, you know, the best insurance that you can get when you're skating is a helmet. Super important that you take precaution when you're out there skating. None of us are young anymore. You know, we've got either ourselves to take care of or we've got a family to take care of. It's super important to take care of yourself as well. Getting yourself into some sort of an injury where you end up in the hospital and you can't take care of your family just because you were out rollerblading, that seems like a bad idea. So if you can avoid it, do. Best way to do that, you know, minimal way to do that is wear a helmet. Now, helmets aren't great. They aren't fun. They aren't as cool as, you know, getting a new pair of skates or getting some wheels or whatever. But it is something that you really should have when you're skating just to protect yourself from those crazy accidents. But I do understand that sometimes money can be a little tight and you don't want to spend money on a helmet. Totally get it. If you need a helmet, we are here to help. So we will be giving away a helmet for every episode of Gear Talk tonight. We have a helmet to give away. And we're able to do that because our friends over at thehelmetinitiative.org sends us some helmets so that we can give them away. They are a great organization that tries to get people to wear helmets. They swap out old helmets for new helmets so that you have a helmet, so that when you're out there skating or biking or skateboarding or scootering or whatever you're doing, wheeled sports primarily, you can protect yourself. If you're interested in a helmet, anywhere in the US, you will get a helmet and we'll reach out to you. We will send you, you know, sizing information and we'll ask you to send us our mailing address and stuff like that. We will get the information. If we have a helmet in stock, we will send it out to you. If you're outside of the US, instead of trying to send a helmet over to you, it can get a little expensive on both sides, not only from customs, but from shipping. So rather than that, we send you some money. So we PayPal you some money. Local price of a helmet, usually around $50. So we send that to you so that you have a little bit of money that you can go to a local shop and buy a helmet. We get that money from the ads on the YouTube channel, as well as our Instagram Reels, which funny enough has been paying pretty well lately, which is great. And we're able to help with our supporters on Patreon. Patreon.com/backtoblading is where you can get more information. Most of our supporters there are like $1 a month, couple bucks a month. It's not a huge amount of money, but it really adds up and it really helps with keeping the lights on here, shipping out helmets, getting helmets to people outside of the US, things like that. We really appreciate all of our supporters. If you've got a little bit of extra cash and you want to support the cause, patreon.com/backtoblading is the place to go to find out more information. If you're interested in a helmet, let me put this link in the show comments. There's the link, backtoblading.com/helmet. Head on over there, fill out your information. We won't spam you. We won't sell your information. We just need to get a hold of you if you win. We will pick one person at random and we will give them a helmet. No strings attached. You don't have to tag us on Instagram or anything like that. We just want to make sure that more people out there have access to helmets. If money is the reason that you aren't wearing a helmet, we want to help you out. backtoblading.com/helmet for more information and to sign up for a free helmet giveaway. All right, let's see. Why don't we do this? Let me talk about my current setup real quick, and then we will jump right into it. I will take questions. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Make sure that you tag Back to Blading on it so that I can see it. If you tag Back to Blading, it'll show up in orange, and I'll be able to see it in the chat. But I'm going to talk first about my current setup, and then we're going to get into the main event, and then we'll do questions afterwards. So questions at the end of the show tonight, but I will take as many questions as you have. So feel free to fill them up now. It will definitely get answered later. But my current setup. So I have been very fortunate to be skating aggressive lately. The weather outside is not great. It's been extremely hot, but I've been getting out there fairly early, leaving around noon before it gets too hot. But I've been able to skate aggressive. And this last session, I was on my Adapt Brutale. So these are the Adapt Brutale. I've been on them for 3 weeks now, almost a month now actually, and still loving them. Not much else that I can say that I haven't said already. I think that these are going to be my go-to skate for the time being. These are the skates that feel the best on my feet. They have the best performance, the best responsiveness. I feel confident when I'm skating. I feel like I can do, I was out at the Durham skate park doing soul grinds for my birthday. And I felt like I could do every obstacle, like literally every obstacle there. I felt so confident with my soul that I was just jumping on and having no issues. Now there were a few obstacles. I got to a point where I got so tired, I just ran out of energy. So I didn't do all of the rails, but I actually did some of the rails, the flat rails. I'm gonna go back this weekend and I'm gonna try to hit the rest of the rails. Maybe not the big long rails. I don't know that I wanna jack myself up that much. I am still kind of learning how to jump up on rails and jump high on things. So I don't want to do anything down stairs that might hurt me, especially doing a soul, because if I miss, I'll just slip off. And I slipped off a lot when I was trying to learn those, get myself set up to do the soul tricks. But I was able to get on, and there are a few other smaller rails there that I'm going to try to do this next time. Soul tricks felt great. I didn't do any other tricks all week. So all that I did was soul tricks. I didn't do royales, I didn't do back farves, I didn't do top acids, I didn't do anything else. It was just soul grinds. But the skates were not the problem. It was hot. I was tired after jumping all that time. Actually, my abs, first time in a long time that my abs got really tired because I was jumping so much. These skates are great. They are light, they are responsive, they fit me where I need them to fit me. This top area is a very squishy nubuck, which means that this is supportive on the side, and on the top it tightens around so that your foot gets sucked in. It feels kind of like an athletic shoe, like a sneaker. And I don't know that there's another skate on the market that feels that soft, that feels that comfortable. The Factions are a really good contender. The USD Carbons are a really good contender. The Gods FM3s are a really good contender, but nothing is as soft and as comfortable for me as these Adapts. Now I have heard, since I started reviewing these and skating these, I have heard from a bunch of people who said they got a new pair of Adapts and they hurt their feet. The sizing was wrong. It fit weird. I can't speak to that. They fit me great, but I do know that some people have been complaining mostly about the toe box area. They've made some changes. So if you look at the top of the toe box, you can see this toe area comes up to here. So they brought the toe area down closer to the tip of your toes. The older ones, the Stealth, they were a little bit further back. So if you look at the Stealth, the lacing comes a little bit further back. And what that means is the area where the lacing hits, where it starts cinching around your toes, being higher up means that it won't pinch on your toes as much as it's pinching on the toes with these Brutale. And I feel like that's the problem that people are running into. It's not necessarily the sizing, it's just that the way that this top area is. It's funny how a lot of skates have issues with this top area. You see it all the time, especially with Aeons, where people shove baseballs in the Aeon or they cut the Aeon toe so that there's a little bit more relief up here, because the height of your foot can vary. People have chubbier feet than others. Doesn't mean that you're a fat person. It just means that maybe you've got different toes, different way that your knuckles raise. And a lot of skates, for whatever reason, don't give you very much room up here. So it can be really tight, especially if you're skating liners that have a little bit more material up there than others. For me, though, I don't have an issue. Maybe I have skinny toes. I don't know. But I've absolutely loved these skates. Loving the Prime frames. Again, I designed these frames for the way that I like to skate. They are an anti-rocker setup, skating with UHMW anti-rocker wheels, which for me is the best bang for your buck. You're going to slide super fast. And yeah, I absolutely love this setup. I think this is my go-to setup for a long time. Might switch around the frames, I like different colors of primes. I do want to try the Balance 2s with a flat 56. We just got the 56 mil wheels in for testing, so I want to try and skate a flat 56 setup, but I'm going to have to finish out my birthday session. I've got 16 more tricks, I think, something like that. 16 plus 2 makeups, so 18 total tricks. It's going to be a long day. Don't get old, kids. I mean, 46 tricks. That's a lot of soul grinds. So trying to find all of the objects that I can grind and trying to get myself motivated to get 18 of those is going to be a struggle. But I'm going to do it just for you. I'll be out there on Saturday, and I should have a video posted on Sunday with the results. Hopefully I get through it. Fingers crossed. All right. Let's jump right into it. So I wanted to do something kind of nice for our 100th episode. I don't need anything from you. I think the support that I've gotten from the community is extremely amazing. I don't have any needs for anything. I don't need birthday gifts or celebration gifts for the 100th. But I did want to give some stuff away to the viewers, to people who have watched some of these episodes and who have supported me throughout the years. Even if you're just watching and following along in the comments, or if you watch later and you leave a comment in the video afterwards, it doesn't matter. Just the fact that you're watching, it really means a lot, and absolutely love the support, and I wanted to give a little bit back. So tonight we have a contest. So the contest is going to be there's going to be a question and answer section. If you're in the live stream, you'll be able to answer the questions and you'll get praise for answering the questions. But we're going to go through all of the questions. We're going to get everybody's answers. And then I'm going to give you a link so that you can go sign up and fill out the form and put in all of your answers and tell me what prize you'd like to win. And then I'm going to do the same thing as I do with the helmets. I'm going to pick somebody at random for each of the prizes, and I will send out a prize pack to everybody out there who won. So we've got a few prizes that people are able to pick from. I don't know where to start. I've got a few things just from the warehouse that I wanted to give away that I thought people would like. Tried to stick with things that are kind of easy for people to get behind and things that people might actually appreciate versus, just random stuff, t-shirts and things like that. So it's mostly gear. This is Gear Talk. First, we'll start with these interesting chroma wheels. So these are the Yandril chroma wheels, but in a different color. So we got these with the shipment of the Yandril wheels. Yandril has, his chroma wheel comes in 2 different shades of orange. So it's a bright orange at 90A and it's a darker orange at 92A. The factory, when they first tried to make that dark orange, it came out very, very brown. You can kind of see this brown color. And they knew that it was wrong. So they said, hey, we made 100 sets of these because that's how many they make whenever they make wheels. Do you want them? And I said, well, absolutely. I can definitely find a way to get rid of them. So I got all of these Blem wheels. These are like a dark burnt orange Yandril wheel. They are 58 millimeter 92A. It's going to be a pack of 8, so you'll be able to skate flat with 5892. It should be a really great setup. These are not available in stores. We've only got maybe a handful of them left, but I couldn't think of a better way to get rid of them than a giveaway on Gear Talk. They are, again, 92A, so they're going to be a little harder than what I would recommend. If you're skating flat, they probably will be perfect. You could also pair these with any other 58 millimeter wheel on the outside. It has the nice bullety flat profile, so it'll be really easy for you to do groove tricks without getting wheel bites, what this profile is all about. So, Yandril wheels, these are one of the prizes. Keep all of this in mind. You'll be asked to pick which prize you want when you fill out the form later. And by the way, the form will be up all night. So if you have to go somewhere and start the show over again, absolutely no problem. There's no rush. We do this live so that everybody can participate, but I know that time zones are weird and that people have to take care of families and things like that. So absolutely no rush. Yandril wheels, keep that in mind. Second thing, for the anti-rocker skaters out there, we've got a set of the 50-50 60 millimeter 90A wheels. These are the ones with the silver ring. We only got a handful of these left. We pulled them so that people could skate the normal 60-90s, but we got a few of these left that I wanted to give away. This is a wheel that we released when the core system initially came out. This was the added wheel when people bought ready-to-roll setups. You could get them in 60-90. I think you could also get them in 65-90. I think I did 65-90 for anti-rocker, and then this was our flat setup. We've got a handful of them left. They are amazing wheels. Absolutely love these wheels. If you're skating anti-rocker, if you're skating, a rougher terrain, these wheels last forever. I'm skating them now, but in white 60-90. These are the black 60-90s, and they have the silver ring. So if you skate anti-rocker, definitely a good wheel to choose from. To go along with those wheels, we're giving away a set of bearings. So if you need new bearings, these are the 50-50 ABEC 9 bearings. Set of 8. They are shielded, double-sided shielded, so they keep dirt out. They're really designed for anti-rocker skaters who jump into dirt a lot and don't want to clean their bearings very often. They are greased. They're really fast, really consistent. They'll keep the dirt out for a long time. They are very long-lasting, I guess. But, if you do wear them out, they're pretty cheap to replace. Either way, they're yours if you want them. If you're skating flat, we got a pair of 8 packs of compass bearings. So these are the Compass Swiss. They are serviceable. They are our highest quality bearing. If you're skating flat, this is what I skate anti-rocker, but if you're skating flat, highly recommend skating Swiss bearings. You will feel the difference. They are a nice, quick ride, very smooth. You will need to clean them. So they are shielded on one side and then serviceable on the inside. So if dirt gets in there, they will be a noticeable difference. The nice thing is a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, a little bit of sewing machine oil. You'll be back as good as new. They are extremely fast, really nice, and you'll get a set of 16 bearings. So if you're skating flat, these are the bearings that you want. My favorite bearings. For people who don't skate aggressive, we've got a set of the Matt Lion compass wheels. Brand new, fresh out of the box. These are how they come from the factory, and then we package them into sets of 4. Tonight we're going to give away a set of 8, so you can get these Matt Lion Hood Panda compass wheels. They are 80 millimeter, 88A, beautiful bright neon green. These will look amazing on your flat 80 setup if you're skating a recreational skate, or any skate usually comes with an 80 millimeter. 88 is a really great hardness. It's not so hard that you're really going to feel it, but it's hard enough that you'll be able to do some good slides. You won't have any issues with wearing faster on some softer wheels. They will hold up really good to most materials. And again, it's just a beautiful color. I absolutely love the way that these wheels came out. They are 80 millimeter 88A. And then from a frame perspective, if you want those wheels, there is a set of Compass frames. These are the Compass 80 millimeter frames. They are UFS, fresh in the box. This is how they come from the factory. So they have set of frames, black axles. These are UFS. So if you have any UFS boot, you can put these frames on 80 millimeters on both sides. So you'll have a nice smooth ride. You can access the UFS bolts. So if you want to swap between these frames and your aggressive setup, all you need to do, pop out the UFS bolts. You don't have to replace your wheels or anything like that. 2 tools, take off the frame, put on the other frame, put on the frame bolts, and you're good to go. 80 millimeters, I highly recommend you have something that's a little bit more supportive than a Majestic 12. You don't really want to ride a Majestic 12 with something 80 millimeters. It might be a little floppy. A 909, a Sway, most carbons, I mean, anything like that's going to be just fine. But these are black, they are 80 millimeter. And again, they are UFS. They are one size fits all. So if you ride in a UFS skate, they're 260 millimeter base, which is a perfect size for most people. If you have a very, very small foot, they might be a little long for you. We don't make a 243. Some companies do, but if you want a small frame, these aren't the ones for you. But most people will love this wheelbase. And then finally, we've got a pair of Balance 2 frames. So these are the frames that we just brought in. The brand new Balance 2s. This is what they look like fresh out of the box. This is a size medium, but whoever wins these, they do come in large. I will ask you what your size is and we'll swap them out for a large if you want. They are our aggressive frame. They are a flat 60. We do recommend that you skate them flat 58 though. I think that's optimal size. 56 is going to be pretty cool, but I haven't skated them yet, so I don't know. They're kind of an all-around frame. They're really good for skating flat, but you can also skate them anti-rocker. John Fromm loves them anti-rocker. Jan Driel skates them flat. So you really can do anything that you want with these frames. They come with all the hardware that you need. They're UFS, so they fit on any UFS skate. They are either 250 or 270 mil. So whatever size you need, we'll make sure that you get sorted out. They come in black and white. We're going to be giving away the black ones tonight. And they come with all the core axles, black core axles in this case, and the frame bolts so that you can put them on whatever boots you want. So those are all of the things. I will be shipping them out for free. We'll figure out how to get them worldwide. It might be a little expensive. Be prepared if you are international, you might have to pay for import charges. I will take care of the shipping to get them to you, but you might have to pay import charges, whatever that is. I will send them as a gift. I will put down the price so that they are cheap, but I can't be responsible for customs charges and VAT and all that stuff because I don't know how to handle that outside of the US. But I will take care of shipping for you, and I'll do everything that I can with customs to make it a little bit easier for you to receive them. These are all my gift to you for being here to support Gear Talk and everything that I've been doing. I appreciate it. In order to win these, you're going to have to fill out the contest form and select which one you want. Now, I will put the link in the chat afterwards. We will have a live participation. If people are in the chat now and watching, we will go through these questions. I would like the first person to answer will get a call out on the show. Trying to read and do two things at once. So I'm going to go through the questions. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. We'll go through them, and if anybody has an answer, feel free to type it in the chat. First person who types it in the chat correctly wins. And then if afterwards everybody, since we'll have all the answers, everybody can go fill out the form and then put in all your answers. If you don't have the right answer, no big deal. If you don't have all the right answers, no problem. But put in what you would like, and I will pick somebody at random for each of them. for anybody who signed up, and I will send that out to you sometime next week. Probably next week, because I'm out of town on Friday. So sometime next week we'll go through and do everything. And I'll leave the form up for, the rest of the day, so that if you aren't able to watch this live, absolutely no problem. All right, here we go. First question. And remember, answer in the chat. First person who answers gets all of my love. Which of the following people has not been a guest on Gear Talk? Grant Hazelton, Stefan Brando, Long Tontat, or Frank Stoner? Put your questions in the chat. See who gets it right. Which of the following people has not been a guest on Gear Talk? Grant Hazelton, Stefan Brando, Long Tontat, and Frank Stoner. The winner is Greg with Stefan Brando. Congratulations, Greg. Long has actually been on Gear Talk. We did an on-site Gear Talk episode over at Oak City, and he was on when the Them 908 first came out, which is crazy. Frank definitely has been on. He visited me at the garage, and we talked a lot about skates and fitting. Definitely, no, everybody remembers Grant. Oh, somebody forgot Grant. Grant definitely was here when his skates came out. He dropped off these beautiful skates for me. And he was actually out here 2 weeks ago, which was really nice to see again. So the winner is Greg, and the answer was Stefan. I don't know why Stefan hasn't been on Gear Talk. He's been out here like the most of anybody on that list, but for whatever reason has never been here during a Gear Talk day. So next time he's out there, we're going to have to try to get him for a Wednesday so that we'll have him here for Gear Talk. All right, great job. You all did good. Number 2 question. What is the width of a standard wheel? Is it 24 millimeters, 28 millimeters, or 30 millimeters? What is the width of a wheel? 24 millimeters, 28 millimeters, or 30 millimeters? Daniel with the first question, real quick. Daniel, 24 millimeters. There we go. Excellent. A lot of good answers coming in. There were some 30 millimeter wheels back in the days when Senate had their 30s project, if you remember the Senate frames. 28 I just made up. 28 isn't really a number. But 30 millimeters definitely could have been an answer, but unfortunately most wheels don't come in 30 millimeters. 24 millimeters is the standard, and the way that you can remember that, bearing spacers on the inside are 10 millimeters. 10.1, usually a little bit higher than 10 millimeters. Bearings are 7 millimeters. So 7 plus 7, 14, plus 10 in the middle, 24 millimeters. That's as wide as this wheel. 24 millimeters is the winner. All right. Question 3. Which of the following is not a frame mounting standard? UFS, 165, Tri-Mount, or Quattro? Which of the following is not a frame mounting standard? UFS, 165, Tri-Mount, or Quattro? All right. Daniel with the Tri-Mount. Daniel's first again. Absolutely. Tri-Mount is the weird one. I was going for Trinity, and I said, you know what? I can fool some people by saying Tri-Mount. Quattro is, or Quattro mount is the adapt one. Isn't it called Quattro? Quattro mount? Is that right? Somebody check me. If I'm wrong, I got to change this. I think it's right. I think it's right. Quattro mount is the adapt one, where they have the 4 on their FSK boots, where they have 4 mounts. Trinity, obviously, is the one that's like the tri-mount. It's the one that's on power slide boots. UFS, is an aggressive boot, and the 165 is the standard for recreational. Very well done. Very well done. All right. Question number 4. What size are Lawrence's feet? It's funnier when I read it out loud. 28.5 centimeters, 44, 10.5, or all of the above. What size are Lawrence's feet? 28.5 centimeters, 44, 10.5, or all of the above. All right. Oops. I just reused my. Hold on. I lost my my YouTube. Oh no! Did I lose the chat? I might have lost the chat. Where am I? There we go. All right. It is all of the above. So those are all the same number. I always say those numbers whenever I do my episodes, when I do my first impressions. My feet are 28.5 centimeters, size 44, or it's a 10.5. Those are all kind of the same numbers, and I always test those. Whenever I test a skate, I always try to order those sizes if I can find them. And usually skate manufacturers standardize around that. Lately, they've been changing things around a little bit, so you'll see some 28.2s. Not really right. So the asterisk on that is I am skating a 43.5 in the Adapt. I will say that is a funky number, and I wouldn't say that I am a 43.5 centimeter foot. I would definitely go with a 44, but I was able to fit into 43.5. So there is a technicality that you could say that I'm 43.5, but I think for all intents and purposes, 28.5 centimeters, 10.5, and 44 are the correct answers. Great job. Yes, I'm a medium. There you go. All of the above. All right. Question 5. What is the best piece of insurance you can get for skating? Is it a helmet, or a helmet? What is the best piece of insurance you can get for skating? Is it a helmet, or a helmet, or a helmet? Excellent. A lot of good answers in the chat. We're doing great tonight. Everybody's paying attention. Helmets, everybody is doing great. Thank you all. Hope you're all wearing your helmets. If you need a helmet, backtoblading.com/helmet. All right, last question. Now this one is for the aggressive skaters. You're going to have to visualize this. There is a ledge on your left. You jump and turn 90 degrees to the left and grind the ledge with your legs crossed. Your leading foot is on the bottom. What is the grind called? Savannah or alley-oop unity? There's a ledge on your left. You turn 90 degrees to face the ledge, cross your legs, and you grind. The leading foot is on the bottom. What is the grind called? Savannah or alley-oop unity? Yes, Sean is right. Hooray! Hooray for Team Savannah. No other answers. I guess Sean's the only. Oh, the chat must have stalled, or maybe my connection stalled. I would definitely call that a Savannah. I think that's the Savannah, the textbook Savannah. If you're doing a front side Savannah, that's the way it is. Yeah, I lost the chat. I don't know where the chat went, but let me reload. Maybe I'm getting some lag as well. Some people would call that an alley-oop unity. You know what? As long as you know what you're talking about, that's all that I care about. But I would definitely call that a savanna. Some people say that a savanna can only be done backside. So if you spin 270, ledges on your left, you spin 270 to your left, and you cross your legs, and your bottom foot is on the front, that's a savanna. Fine. I call a savanna anytime that you're grinding crossed like a unity and the bottom leg is leading. Top leg is unity, bottom leg is savanna. It just makes it easier for everybody. But you can decide whatever you want. Trick terms are not where we're not where we're at tonight. It's all about gear talk. All right. Thank you all for participating. That was very, very good. I appreciate all of your answers. If you could go to backtoblading.com/contest, fill out all the information, put in your answers to the contest. If you get them wrong, it's not a huge deal. Just make sure that you answer something. Put in your name and information, and then of all of the things at the bottom, pick what prize, if I picked you at random, what prize you would like to win. Again, just a quick review. We've got the Matt Lion compass wheels. There's an 8-pack, 80mm, 88A. Make sure that you can use these. These are things that people could actually use. I didn't want to give away things that people didn't need, but I could see somebody really wanting a set of 80mm wheels. So 80mm, 88A wheels, pack of 16 compass bearings, pack of 8 fitty-fitty bearings, 4-pack of 60mm 90A fitty-fitty wheels, an 8-pack of Yondrille burnt orange Blem chroma wheels, 58mm 92A, pair of compass frames, 80mm compass frames, or a set of balance 2s in black. Whichever size you want. Whoever wins these, I will ask. Make sure that I send the right set. No purchase required. Terms and conditions apply. If you're outside of the US, you are responsible for customs and VAT if there is anything, but I will ship with a low declared value and I will ship as a gift. Again, this is my way of giving back to everybody. I couldn't do this show without your support. I want to help people out there who might want to get something special at the end of summer. Maybe your kids are going back to school and you spend all your money trying to get back to school supplies. Tell you what, I went to Target with my daughter yesterday. $200 later, we walk out with a backpack full of binders and bullshit that I don't think she's going to use, but that's the way school is. So if you have been hit with that and you need a new set of bearings or a new set of wheels or anything, absolutely would love to help you out. Put in your information, fill out the answers, and let's see if you win. All right, if you have any questions, I would love to answer your questions. This might be a short show. I don't have a ton on tap. Really just wanted to celebrate the 100th episode, give away some free stuff, and have a nice, fun little game. If you have any questions, would love nothing more than to chat with you about them. Hit me up on the chat, tag back to blading so that I can see them. If you're watching this in the future, make sure that you leave a comment in the video. I can read all of the comments. I always read the comments. If you have a question, I will do my best to find the answer for you. Let me scroll all the way up. Oops, did I lose the top of the chat? Oh no. I don't know if the chat, live chat, all chat, I think I lost the chat. Well, I guess it's all the new questions. So if you had a question earlier and I told you, hey, put a question in the chat, I'll get to it eventually. I'm not going to get to it because it just disappeared. So put your question in the chat now, and I will go through and answer your question if you have a question. If you don't have a question, we just hang out. I can come up with some things to say, things to talk about. I can pull some random skates off the wall and talk. Apologize that YouTube, I don't know what I did, but it just blew up on me and lost all the chat messages. Scroll to the top, I don't see anything, so it is what it is. You'd think that live chat would show, I don't know, YouTube. YouTube is just always always fun. All right, Ravenous Pathogen. This is the PVC tabletop display rail. It's not ready yet. It's not going to be ready for a long time. I have the PVC over here. There's been so much going on at real life that I haven't had much opportunity to do anything with blading. I was trying to do a live stream tomorrow. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to because I got too much work. I did a live stream a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, you know, it's tough juggling real life and then an actual job and then trying to do hobbies and try to run a business. So, you know, obviously most important thing is if a customer needs help, I always try to respond to them within the day, you know, 24 hours from getting an email. I try to send out replacement things or answer questions and send out missing hardware or things like that. I try to do that as quickly as possible because I want to make sure that people are still skating. Shops definitely get priority. Customers that place orders, I try to ship those the same day. We ship at 4 o'clock. So if an order comes in before 4 o'clock, I try to get it out the same day. If not, you know, I do it the next day. And I usually do that over lunch. Doesn't give me a lot of time to get things done, unfortunately. So today I did inventory. I was not able to do the PVC rail, but I have the rail here. I keep looking at it. And as soon as I find some time, I will make the PVC stand so that I can put it on top of my laptop and show you things. Haven't gotten to it yet, though. I will. I keep remembering it. I put it out so that I would remind myself. Just need to get myself a little bit more time. Muscle Mexican. Appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you do. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything the community does for keeping skating alive. You know, it was an interesting chat today, earlier this week, I think, on the Facebook, about trying to get kids into skating. And the person leaving the post was saying how it's difficult for kids to get into skating because they don't have a skate shop. They don't have a place to put the skates on. They can't touch the skates. Totally agree. We need to be that skate shop. We need to be that ambassador for rollerblading and go out to your local skate parks. And if you see a rollerblading kid who's obviously on some, you know, crazy skates that they shouldn't be skating at a skate park, go up to their parents, go up to them and say, hey, like, here's a catalog from Roller Warehouse, or here's, you know, a link to Inline Warehouse or Oak City or whatever. This is where you can get some real skates for what you do and explain what skating's all about. That's something that we don't have anymore. We don't have local skate shops as much. Hopefully we'll get them back. You know, I feel like rollerblading in general is still fairly solid and consistent. It's definitely up from when it was when I came back in 2017. Not as big as it was during COVID boom, but it's still, you know, if you like crypto, right? You look at crypto going up to whatever Bitcoin was at 60 or something like that, and then it drops back down. If you look at it, and I'm not a crypto guy, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, from a value perspective, the amount of people skating now is still more than were skating in 2017, 2016. It's not as much as was skating in 2020. That was an anomaly. That was when there was a big boom. But people are sticking with it. And I think the more people we can get skating, the better. Anyway, long story short, thank you for participating tonight and for joining us on Gear Talk tonight. God dang, this YouTube's freaking out on me. Nick Fish, did the farmer frames make it to port today? Yes, actually yesterday. They made it to port yesterday. They are getting unloaded from the dock and they should be clearing customs this week, maybe next week. Usually takes a couple days after they clear customs and they get to the warehouse to get to me. Excuse me. First available would be end of next week for me to be able to get the frames and ship them out. Fingers crossed that that happens. Hard to predict right now. All these ports, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the supply chain delays and the shipping delays and things like that. Thankfully, there's no huge rush. There was an issue, was it last summer? I think it was last summer, where shipping prices were almost triple what they used to be. So typically when I bring in a container of, you know, I bring in a couple pallets of frames and wheels and whatever, it usually costs me $1,500 to $2,000 or so. And that's for about 1,000 frames, maybe a little bit more than 1,000 frames. That is a good price. So $2 a frame is great. You know, if I can get $2 a frame for shipping, loving it, because obviously I have to pay for that, and that impacts how much money I can make selling them to a shop. Back in the COVID days, when shipping delays were crazy last summer, I was paying probably $6 a frame. I think my shipping bill was $4,500 last time I brought in, what did I bring in? Oh, prime frames maybe? And it just destroyed my margins. So obviously we're fine, like we're able to make it through, but you probably saw other skate companies having to raise their prices around that time. That was because shipping cost so much more. The backpacks, when we brought the backpacks in, the shipping cost blew up, and we ended up making almost no money on the backpacks because we would make money selling them direct, but we wouldn't make any money selling them to shops because shipping costs were so expensive that we couldn't forecast that it would triple in price. Fingers crossed though that these frames get here. I also have a bunch of wheels that are waiting to be delivered, so it's been 45 days since they left the factory. It usually takes 30 days to get to port, so a little bit delayed, but appreciate your patience. You know, it sucks. We try to be as open and transparent about things and update as much as we can, but when the shipping company doesn't have any information, there's not much that I can say. But as soon as I know that they got to port, and as soon as I know that they got out of port, I should say, and as soon as I know that they got unloaded at the warehouse and they're getting loaded in the truck, I'll let everybody know. And that's usually about 2 days from there that we'll expect to get delivery. So fingers crossed that it happens probably early next week. And thanks for the support. Killbot 350, would the Adapt sole plates fit on my USD carbon boots with no modifications? Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. So take these ones off. Oh, here. So these are the Adapts. The Adapt sole plates have 4 bolts, and then they have an open pass-through for the UFS bolts. If you were skating USD carbons, same deal. In fact, these use the same things. Let me put these on for you. I'm on the right side. Wrong side. Wrong side. Let me get the other side. All right, I will take these off and I will put the sole plates on, and I will confirm. If anything, you might need to modify a little bit on the contour of the base of the sole plate because every boot is a little different. So these have 4 bolts underneath, 1 off. And I love that they use standard 4mm hex instead of the little spinny 2mm, 2.5mm ones that some companies use, or even worse. Maybe not worse, but even just as bad, Phillips. You know, you'll see the Phillips screws under there. All right, so this is the sole plate from the Adapt. This is what the Adapt looks like below, underneath. So this obviously won't use these bolts because this is an Adapt thing, so I'll take these bolts off. Probably 12mm bolts, that's my guess. And there you go. So this is straight off. This is an extra large Adapt sole plate, which is the 44. And this is the USD Carbon from 2018. You can see the bottom fits perfectly. Really, really nice sole plate. This material is really fast. It does overhang a little bit, as the Adapts do. Not a bad thing, but it's something to be aware of if you're used to skating the USDs. They don't overhang as much. You see there's a little pocket back here so that it doesn't overhang. Oops, that way. But they fit just fine. I think these would be really nice. They actually look pretty good, actually. Yeah. I don't know that you could fit the large. Maybe you could fit the large. There's enough room. You could probably fit the large. These ones that I'm skating, these are the large. So they're a little bit smaller. But yeah, really good sole plates. Highly recommend them. I think they're the best. So that material that they use, either UHMW or a Delrin, that material is so soft that I don't think it makes very good frames. But H blocks and sole plates, absolutely perfect. Those are great applications for that because you don't need any structural integrity. If it's, mounted directly to a boot and it has a flexi boot or whatever, having a solid, nice, hard material, this will help the rigidity of the bottom of the boot. If you're looking at frames, you want something that's also really hard and rigid. You don't want to use something soft like the UHMW or the Delrin. I know that they still do. I just feel like, especially if you're skating any rocker or something, when you're skating and after repeated hits over and over, that is just going to slowly elongate that hole inside where the axles hit, and it's going to create an oval instead of a circular axle, which means that you'll get a little bit of clacking. And there's nothing worse than clacky skates when you're skating. Eventually, it could even cause, an issue if, the holes got so big and there was play, like lateral play around. I don't know that that's ever happened. I don't know that it would happen, but I don't like clacky skates. So definitely a great use case for this material. Absolutely love this. Yeah, I think a black sole plate like that would look really good with this. Good idea. Good call. And yes, they fit no problem. All right. Wiki. I love prime frames, but I always find myself going back to Wish because I want flat and wheel protection. Is they a flat with wheel protection prime wall in the making? Yes, I don't know when. We have a few samples that we've designed that I think will work really well, but money is a little tight right now, so we can't invest in a new mold yet. I totally hear you with the Wish. I think Wish frames are amazing, and I've said it before, I say it again. If you are skating flat, if you have a fairly bigger foot, and you're skating flat, I don't think you can beat a Wish frame. Especially for me, the older Wish frame with the 72s and the 60s. If you're skating bigger wheels, you want to skate around town. For the all-around setup, it's a really, really great setup. We've worked with a few designs for a flat frame for the core system. It would be not a prime wall, it would be a flat wall, so it would be a completely different name. There's a few great designs on the core frame market if you're interested in getting something that's 3D printed. I think all of the frames on there, the Hexy, the Dodo, the Justin Thursday, what's the other one? There's another frame, I can't remember. But there's plenty of good 3D printed frames out there if you want to experiment. I think they're $50 or so. And they provide a really great grinding experience. Now, 3D printed frames aren't as durable as an injection molded frame. They also can't sit in the sun because that material warps, and that's not good. But if you just wanted to see what it would feel like, highly recommend it. Go to coreframemarket.com. You can see the frames there with the different flat setups, so you can see what the wheels look like in the setups. If you want something special, they're available in white and black. If you want something special, you can click on one of the designer links so that you can go to the designer's website, and then you can order directly from them and get whatever color they have available, which is really, really fun. We are using that same core developer kit to develop our frame. So we do plan on coming out with a large or with a flat frame that has wheel bite protection that is designed specifically for flat. But it's going to be a little bit of time. We would do it, we've got them already that we're testing in prints, but we would definitely bring it out as a mold. So it costs, 10 grand or so for a mold, which is a lot of money. And we're going to need to save up for that. Plus, then we're going to have to do production, and frames cost a lot of money. So there's a lot that needs to happen before we can bring it out, but it is on our mind. I'm not going to say next year, but the goal would be sometime next year. I just don't have confidence that it's going to happen, but fingers crossed. And thanks for the support. I love the primes. Our goal with the prime was to create the fastest, most responsive anti-rocker setup. And the core system is the most responsive plastic frame. That's the pitch. So it's not an aluminum system. It's not like Sola or like the Kaiser Element 60s or anything like that. It's not designed as an aluminum frame. It's designed to compete with plastic frames, but be even stronger and provide a little bit more of a system so that you can replace the walls and you can swap things around and everything. That is the design around core, and it only works if we have additional walls. So we are working on different walls. They will come out soon. A lot of plates spinning right now that I'm trying to keep afloat. But yeah, definitely appreciate the support, and I'll let you know. We'll talk about it here when they come out. Kyle Galt, what's your review of the Sway to someone who loves and misses the classic Thrones? Considering getting them as my Colts are not for me. Love USD and miss riding them. Thank you. Hey, Kyle. Yeah, I love the Sway. I think the Sways are great skates. I skate really well in these Sway. I love the sole plate. Absolutely love the sole plate. I feel like it has one of the best Royale grooves on the market. I feel like it has one of the best soles on the market. The new revamped one, even better. It looks better. I feel like they dialed it in a little bit, so it's a little bit cleaner. It is a fairly floppy skate, so that might not be a bad thing. It does have a 45-degree strap. Some of them do, at least. If you get the Farmers, I think they have a 45-degree strap. It is a fairly wide skate, so it should be available for most people's feet, which when I was skating the Mesmers, do I have the Mesmers? Where are the Mesmers? Oh, they're over here. You know, my Mesmers, I had the liners. I sent the liners out to a friend, so I couldn't put them up on the wall. This is the Mesmers. So if you liked the USD Thrones, this is what the current version of the classic USD Thrones is. If your foot fit these in the past, they probably will fit them now. It is a brand new boot company with an old mold that was modified to support a flat mounting system. Sorry, a flat sole plate. It is a raised heel boot, but it is a flat sole plate. These are the size 43, 44. I felt like they fit me fine, but I was getting some pain in the heel. If you skated traditional Thrones, they haven't changed the inside of this mold. So if you were able to skate those old Thrones, you shouldn't have any problem skating these Mesmers. I think you can find these now. I think they're $400 in stores, maybe $320 boot only, something like that. Whereas the Sways, I think those Farmer Sways were $220 boot only. I know that Mick over at Intuition is doing a deal with the Prime frame, so Chris Farmer's Prime frame, with the red eye wheels and fitty bearings, and they're going to be $400, which is a crazy deal. I like Sways. I think they are probably the best USD skate for most people. I do like the USD Carbons, but they're a little bit more pricey. If you're trying to just get in, you don't want to spend a ton of money, Sway's probably my number one pick for skate under $250. It's just a really great deal. I recommend it. The stock liners aren't great, but if you get the Farmers, they come with the crown liners. It's a great deal for that price. And welcome back if you just started again. Definitely Classic Thrones are a more nostalgic than anything else. I don't know anybody aside from Demetrius who skates them now who loves them. For whatever reason, that's just the skate that fit his foot. And I always say you shouldn't look for the skate that has the right features or the coolest sole plate or whatever, or based on the skater. You should try the skates, and whatever fits your foot is the one that you should stick with. The problem is you got to try all the skates to see which ones fit your feet. I think sways are pretty flexible, though. You'll be able to put your foot in there pretty easily, and you can always swap out liners if you need to. Punk PC Mods, any chance of Compass doing an entry-level wizard frame in the $100 to $150 range? We've been thinking about doing a flat 90. I loved skating my Kaiser Element 90s. It was really fun for wizardy stuff, and I love the idea that you could just put on a UFS frame and go out and skate. The problem is that market is so full right now. You know, you can get Wizard, you could get NN, you can get Raka, you can get Kaiser, you can get Flying Eagle, you can get Endless. I mean, there are so many UFS aluminum frames now that I don't know that I could bring anything new to that market, aside from cost. And I don't really like competing at cost. It feels like eventually everybody just kind of goes to the lowest cost and nobody wins, you know? So I don't know what the future holds with that. The biggest problem that I have with those bigger frames is you need to have a good boot that can support it. I was skating them on the Adapt with a sole plate. It is a carbon boot. It has a 45-degree strap. It felt great. But most people don't have Adapts. They don't have carbon boots. They probably don't even have a 45-degree strap. So skating something like that without support is going to be really bad on your ankles. You'll see, you know, wizard skaters, a lot of wizard skaters are skating the them 909s now. But the ones who are doing it really well, in my opinion, are skating the PR80s. So they're an 80 millimeter frame, not a 90, not a 100. They're skating the 80 millimeter. And I think the reason for that is if you get over 80, it starts to get a little bit floppy, just like that gif of the model walking down the runway with the high heel and her legs are all crazy like that because she's missing on her heels or whatever. Like, that's kind of the feeling that I get with my ankles when I'm skating 90s or 100s on, you know, a USD Sway or a Majestic 12 or something like that. That feeling would be the same on most plastic boots without a 45-degree strap, in my opinion. So I don't know that I'd want to bring a frame into that market, but in saying that, I do know that there's a hole in our line for a 90 millimeter frame. I do think that of all of the sizes, 4x90 is probably the one that we would make first. And aluminum, you know, we don't have a higher end frame. The Compass frames, they're $60, $65 in stores. I'd love to bring in a like a prime frame sort of thing for $100. I think that would be a really, really interesting item, and it would fill out the line. You know, selling all these ready to roll frames. It's great that we have really good 90 millimeter wheels. We have really good Swiss bearings. It would be great to have a frame that can fit with the 90 millimeter wheels. So definitely something that I've thought about. I don't know when that's going to happen. I got to really think about why I would do it. Not just the money side, but is there a market for it? Is there, you know, a hole in the market that I'd want to fill? And I don't know that yet, but I'm getting closer. Thanks again. And yeah, I think there's plenty of good options out there if you're looking for a cheaper wizard frame. I know that $400 for a frame is a lot. You know, you can go with NN, you can go with Raka, you can go with, you know, a few others if you're looking for an aluminum UFS frame now. John Presley, if money were not a factor, what product would you bring to market? I mean, I've been working on a boot. I think, you know, money is a factor, but I'm going as fast as the factory will allow. More information on that to come, but definitely that's the one thing that I'm missing. You know, I've got great frames, I've got great wheels, I've got great bearings, I've even got cool laces, but a boot and a liner. Those are the two product categories that I don't have covered yet, and I would love to do that. If money were no object, I would probably do what I do here with the Balance Warehouse, with the open house, with the showroom that showcases our products, with a mini ramp, and with little street stuff. And I would open one of these in every region. So I would love nothing more than to have balanced shops around the world. You know, something in Chicago, something in Texas, something in Florida, something in New York, something in Barcelona, something in London. Like all of these spots that I know there are skaters, but they don't have a shop. It would not work because I don't have that sort of money. But if money were no object, that would be my dream. You know, open up shops everywhere, evangelize skating, have learn to skate, have, you know, area that if it's raining or if it's snowing out, you can come in, or if it's hot out, you can come in and skate here, have lessons, and then obviously have product so that people can try them on and learn about skating and learn about the stuff that I talk about here, but with people who are knowledgeable and who are passionate about skating. It's a great question. I don't know what I would do to make all that money, but if you've got millions of dollars, I have dreams and I'm a nice guy. Michael Marcos, any new backpacks coming out? We've been working on a couple. So we've been working on new colorways for backpacks. Nothing to report yet. Again, my money is a little tied up, and I'm a little, to be completely transparent, I'm a little burned from the last backpack order because we kind of didn't make any money on them. Shipping costs were so expensive that we paid, you know, 3 times, 4 times what we usually pay for shipping, and it just killed all of my margins. And they're already a fairly expensive backpack. So I'd have to figure out how to get those numbers down, which requires redesigning the backpack to be a little bit more cost effective so that we could ship better. One of the biggest problems with the backpacks is that they're big. So they take up a lot of space in my warehouse, and they take a lot of space on a shipping container. That just adds up, and it makes the shipping costs so much higher. So the price of the backpack is so much higher. So all the businessy stuff that you don't really think about until it actually happens. And then you're like, well, where'd all my money go? I thought, you know, we would make money on this project, and you end up not making money. Backpack project is not dead though. I do have a vision of what the backpack could look like. I'd love to redesign a backpack that would be a little bit more nimble, that I could fit more of in a box, and that I could make a little bit of money on. Because while I do love doing this, I need to be able to cover my costs. It can't be a donation. But yeah, fingers crossed that we'll have something for you in spring. That's usually backpack season. All right, are we good? YouTube just jumped. Oh, where's it? All right, there he is. Alejandro, will the 50-50 56mm wheels work well on frames like Kaiser Fluid 5s and Symmetrics? Or are those too thick and you should only use them on the Balance and Create? That is an excellent question. I have the Fluid 5s here. My issue with the Fluid 5s, this is a 60mm wheel. Yeah, I think so. I think these are 60s. My issue with the Fluid 5 is that the wall comes out so far that you start scraping. If this is 60mm, imagine this wheel, what would it be? 4, so 2mm smaller. That means that the effective height of this wheel, even though it is a fairly wide 56, they're not as rounded and they're not as pointy as our 58s, it would probably rub on the sidewalls. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't ride these frames with 56s, but I think this frame is really good with a 58 or a 60. Creates Balance 2s, absolutely a great frame for riding them. I don't know about the Symmetrics. I haven't skated the Symmetrics in a long time. Remember, they're kind of designed for a flat 60, but 65 is available. I do think they would work well. The 56s would work really well with them frames. If you're liking them frames, I think that a 56 would fit really well. I think max on the them frame is what, 60 anti-rocker and 58 flat, something like that. So definitely a 56 would work really well with that. Yeah, again, I know that a lot of people love these frames. I think that there's some design flaws that limit the flexibility of what you can ride in them. If you're skating a square 60 millimeter wheel, they're probably great. But even with that, you know, I was scraping on the sidewall. So not a huge fan. I think they require a lot of break-in order to get ready to actually skate. So easy to tweak, but I don't know that they want to. I think they like them the way that they are. And, you know, it's not my company, so I have no power over that. We definitely designed the 56s for Create Original frames and Balance 2s and them frames. Those are the three that we focused on, and the reason why we thought that a flat 56 millimeter wheel would be really cool. In fact, Scott Crawford, if you aren't already following him, Scott Crawford on the Instagram, he should be skating as soon as he starts skating again. I think he's healthy-ish. Who's healthy is all relative, right? When we get a little bit older, health is just a thought. I don't know if he's skating, but he just got, today he just got the set of Balance 2s with 56s. I will be skating them as well, but again, I'm not a great skater. Me saying that I love these wheels isn't going to have as much strength, as much power or credibility as somebody who used to skate for Cosmo, who's skated for 30 plus years as a professional and knows their stuff. He really likes the wheel. So if you haven't followed him yet, follow him on the Instagram, take a look, and he'll be skating the wheels very soon. 56 is very interesting. It's a very specific setup. If you're skating transitions, you're going to go really fast because the smaller wheel diameter is going to be really great for acceleration. But if you're skating distance, if you're skating far, like on a street course or something like that, be prepared for deceleration. You know, it's going to be really quick and really fast to slow down versus a 60 where it's going to be a little bit slower to get to top speed, but you're going to coast a little bit more. Love experimenting with things. I think wheels are an area where we haven't experimented enough. Yes, a 56 millimeter wheel is already available. It's something that I haven't experimented with, but it's also the beginning of a brand new project, a little Trojan horse for y'all. So this new 56 that we created, this new profile, allows us to do some really interesting things in the future. So fingers crossed that we get there. Anyway, yes, 56s, creates, Balance 2s, and them frames are what I would recommend. Freestar Roland, are there any new tricks you want to learn or a variation of a trick you already know? If so, what is it? Yeah, I've been really focused on skating mini ramp. So I was finally able to figure out my issues with topsoles. I've been on a path to get my topsole for years, and I would get it and I'd lose it, and I'd get it and I'd lose it. I finally feel like I got it, and I finally feel like I figured out how to explain how to do it and how I was able to unlock it. And I want to do that video. I just haven't had time yet. I want to do that video explaining how I unlocked a topsole, because it is a very different feeling to do a topsole on mini ramp than topside tricks on ledges or topside tricks on rails or anything like that. The carve is very different. Your weight balance is very different. And I figured out a way for myself to practice that balance that gave me the confidence that I needed to actually commit and lock topsole without sliding out on the deck over and over and over again. Once I'm able to skate that again, I want to do all of my grinds again. You know, I want to do my top acid, I want to do my kind grind, I want to do back farv, I want to do alley-oop sole, alley-oop pornstar, alley-oop Mizu, all of the tricks that I can usually do on ledges, I want to try to do on mini ramp. On street, I want to try to hit some more rails. You know, I really enjoyed skating the minor rails that are at the Durham Park, but I felt so confident doing my sole on those. I want to try to hit the other rails. And if I can start doing those, maybe I can do some actual rails in the streets. So we'll see. No expectations. You know, I'm 46, so I will be wearing my helmet. I will be wearing my pads. I don't want to break myself. But I do feel like that's something that I can step up and do. I've got that confidence right now, so we will see. Razor and Sheer, are there any new chroma wheels coming out? Papa needs some new wheels. I got you, baby. I got you covered. We've got new wheels coming out in a couple of weeks. That big shipment that I was talking about, there are new Chroma wheels on that shipment. And then I got new Chroma wheels on the Ocean. So I got a back-to-back. So they should be landing in mid-August, I think is when we were planning. Launch in probably first week of September. And then I've got another shipment that's going to be landing end of September, maybe early October, depends on when they get here. So we've got Chroma in the house, and then I'll have more that we're placing an order next week, following week. So it's going to be nonstop. Super excited, finally season 2 of Chroma started with Yandril. We've got, Stefan and China need to get their wheels, so we got to take care of them as well. Nothing to report yet though, but I think you'll be very happy with them. They are very we're still working with Jeremy Bytall. I feel like Jeremy is having a lot of fun with us, and we've given him a lot of freedom to do whatever. The riders are working directly with him, and our factory has gotten to a point with their printing that they are so good. You'll see the new graphic for China when that comes out, or even Stefan's graphic. You'll see that the print quality, the layering that we've got, it's really, really beautiful. And Jeremy's been working miracles trying to make that happen. So yeah, very excited about Chroma. We've got the packaging in for the next wheel. The wheels should be here soon. We have samples. Stefan's already skating them, and I think China gets hers soon. So we should have some good announcements in the next couple of weeks. Fingers crossed that Customs makes it easy and we're able to see them, but we'll see. Rygar, will the bag hold the skates on the back as opposed to being on the sides? It's a great question. I don't know yet. I like having the skates on the sides, but I don't like hitting my elbows when I'm doing it. If they were on the back, I think there's some limitations with the way that I could stack skates, especially if we wanted to deal with all different sizes of skates. That's one of the questions that I got to figure out. So we're going to do some sampling. We'll get them with the team. Thankfully, John Fromm travels a lot. So he's the guy that he always has ideas for backpacks. He always talks to me about it. And because he travels so much, he loves nothing more than to test out backpacks. So if you ever see John Fromm at the airport, you might see him using a new prototype backpack. We'll see. But yes, they will definitely carry skates because we're a rollerblading brand. We make stuff for rollerblading, not for skateboarding, not for fashion or anything like that. We want to make sure that they can carry skates. So we will hopefully have some information maybe end of this year, beginning of next year. It's not something that I've prioritized, but it's something that I do want to do. Eddie, happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I got a lot of great birthday wishes this year, so it really makes me feel good. Getting older, but I think we all are. Roland Ashcock, what is the market hole to fill in the aggressive carbon boot market? Are you planning to bring something very different to the segment as you did with the prime frames? I think that the aggressive carbon boot market is pretty full right now, to be honest. I always forget about Icon, but Icon has 2 boots, especially with the removable liner. I think Faction does a really good job with a removable liner. USD Carbons, the Adapts, the Seba, there's plenty of great carbon boots right now. So we probably won't do a carbon boot. We do have some samples that we were working on, but the market got a little busy. And I'm not one to stick with a project just because I've done work on it. I pivot quick. So when I saw that there were other boots coming out that were carbon that kind of fit what I had in mind, I said, you know what, let them do it. So nothing to report on the boot yet. Maybe the end of this year. We do have the samples. They're working on the first sample now. So maybe next couple of months I'll have some news. But it will be, I think there will be a market that we're trying to fill. I think there's a couple skates out there that are similar, but none of them quite where I want to be. So I feel like we can bring something unique to the market, And most importantly, it's going to be really high quality, it's going to be affordable, and it will finally fill out that hole in my lineup. So I'll be able to sell a complete skate with all of the stuff. That's what I'm most excited about. It's just, it's that one thing that's been missing. And, even if we only sell, a few hundred pair of skates, I will feel accomplished because I've got that full, I can hold the thing, I can put it on the wall and say, this is all me. Like, I'll feel really good about that. Ravenous Pathogen, I'll be one of the first in line if you bring a 50/50 carbon boot to market. I think there's some great carbon boots out there. If you're looking for a carbon boot, I think the Factions are good if you have slightly wider feet. I think the Adapts are good if you can afford it. I've always been a fan of the USD carbons. Those are the top three in my eyes. I think there's some really good carbon boots out there. Probably won't be a carbon boot. Not to say that we won't ever do a carbon boot, but I feel like that market is pretty well saturated right now. So don't want to bring something out that's already been done, or at least if it's been done, I want to make sure that I do it better. So fingers crossed that I can actually pull it off. Daniel, any chance you have a new 72 millimeter coming out either under the Compass or Mushroom Blading umbrella? So we have the 7285s, the Durhams, they are available now. We do have some 72 mil wheels that we're working on. Can't really speak to Mushroom Blading, but I can say that Compass is working on a new wheel. I don't know when it will be out. I hope it will be out in fall. We're working with the writer to figure out color and graphic now. So it has not started production. It will be coming out. But if you need wheels right now, the Durhams are the only thing that I can offer for you. I always recommend, hydrogen wheels from Rollerblade. They're a really great wheel for the price. If you can find them, high quality. They won't charge an arm and a leg. Undercover, for me, feels a little expensive right now. I know that they are high quality, but for whatever reason, they're just, 40% more than they used to be. And I have a hard time recommending those prices. If the prices go back down, I still think they're great wheels, but the prices are just a little high. So I would recommend getting hydrogens. I think those are the best 72s that you can find. Christopher Pauly, you probably explained this, but why is Panda's wheel not chroma? I don't know that I ever explained it, but we tried to segment chroma as an aggressive, rider-focused, high color, high detail brand. Compass is big wheels. And, when I was talking with Matt about skating for Compass, he was already on 50/50. And he wanted to skate for Compass because he skates more than he grinds. So his passion is skating in all forms. And when he skates for 50/50 and he goes to a skate park, he's got some frames. So that those crazy orange or green frames that he's skating are not his pro model. Not his pro model. I love Panda, but that's not his pro model. He's dyeing frames now. So he's asking for white prime walls and he's dyeing them to come up with his own colors. He's just a great personality in the sport. And when we were talking about Compass, I had already done the signature wheel for Guy Crawford, and I wanted to do a version 2 for Guy, and his was a 72 mil wheel. And I said, what if we did an 80 millimeter wheel for you? Because you love big wheels, but you also, or like 110s, but you also skate 80s, I think. He was skating 80s at the time. I don't know what he was skating. He was skating 84s. And I was like, I can't make an 84. That would be a different size. But I can make an 80. Let's get you some Compass frames. Try them out. And he loved them. He said that, this is a really good balance for him. He doesn't get the speed that he gets with his 110s, but he gets more acceleration. So it made sense. And I want to make the line for Compass at 72 millimeters. So anything 72 millimeter and above is in Compass. Anything smaller is with 50/50. And then chroma is its own thing that kind of does its own thing. It's kind of a artist's project. You know, it's Jeremy working with riders who I love, and I want to make sure that they get a lot of credit for doing what they do. You know, I wanted to make sure that we could do signature wheels with pulling out all the stops, you know, packaging, stickers, t-shirts, promo videos, all of that stuff, the whole package. So super, super happy with the way Chroma's come out. But yeah, Panda wheels are not a Chroma vibe. They're more of a big wheel thing. I do think the color lends itself to Chroma though, that's for sure. Zach Markham, I'd die if you brought out a pink wheel. Well, I can't say that there are any pink wheels in the boat right now, but we definitely wouldn't say no to some color, that's for sure. Rygar, I'm trying to head to Raleigh if I make it over to the East Coast and visit. In the near future, I need to hang out with the Virginia and North Carolina homies. Yes, please do. And if you are in the area, hit me up on Instagram or however you can find me. Come by the warehouse, love to session. If I'm working, at least you can come back and skate in the warehouse. I've got people back there all the time just skating. It's, you know, it's a good community. I love opening house if you're in the area. We're in Durham, but it's like a 30-minute drive from Raleigh, so it's not too far. Daniel, thanks. I can hold off for a few months. Look forward to seeing what you come out with. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, we'll keep you posted. There's a lot going on, but I've got 3 projects in the work right now that are actually in production and actually in like development where we've sent money and we're working on things. And then I've got a few more that are more in my head that I just need to find the time for. But hopefully as soon as things die down a little bit, I'll be able to find some time to work on some more designs. Zach Markham, Chroma aside, what do you think is currently the best wheel company for their average price? Wheel company for their price? I don't know the pricing super well. I'm not a huge fan of the undercover pricing. I think that they're really expensive right now. I think Red Eye is a pretty good bargain. They are a Lebeda pour, but I feel like their urethane is pretty quality. I've never really been a fan of dead wheels. I know that a lot of people love dead wheels. Their pricing is fine, and if you're skating any rocker, I think it's fine. But the 2 sets of dead wheels that I had, I just wasn't a huge fan of. You know, I got some weird vibrating sounds when I was skating them. I don't know. It was 92As, I think. I'm more of a soft wheel guy, so, you know, 88A is kind of my sweet spot. I like the Hydrogen wheels. Again, I go back to Hydrogen, but it feels like Hydrogen, the Rollerblade brand Hydrogen, just have a really great baseline wheel at an affordable price. God, what wheels am I not thinking of? There really aren't that many wheel companies right now, are there? Red Eye, Undercover, Chroma, Fitty Fitty, Compass, Dead, which I talked about. Does Orange make wheels? I don't think they do right now. Sick just came out with the 5892 for Jimmy. I'm not a fan of that profile. I think it's too square, but you know, if you're looking for a 58, I know that they're quality wheels. Who else? Is that it? Am I thinking of anything else? I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, mushroom blading, of course. Ground control. Yeah, ground control is a good call. Good call, Stubbs. Ground control are probably good. I mean, they're the best OEM wheel. Ground control and Rossi's, I think, are made at the same factory. And I tested those wheels when we were trying to find the wheel factory for 50/50, Compass, Chroma, mushroom blading, etc. And they were fine. For me, they just didn't feel special. You know, they felt like kind of bubblegummy. And I think, you know, if you're not spending a ton, I think for the price, I think they're $40 for a set of 4 or 38 or something like that. So they're fairly inexpensive. They're a OEM wheel. They're a wheel that you would expect to get on a skate, and they ride really well for that. As far as aftermarket wheels, I mean, you get what you pay for, I think. I still, if it's not one of my brands, I would still probably recommend Red Eye. I think that would be for money for the buck, for the performance, I think, the red-eye, maybe the Farmers, the 57s, those are pretty good. They have 59 now? They have the John Fromm 60s. Those are pretty good. I would probably go with red-eye. If you can find a profile that works for you, yeah, that's what I would do. It just depends on size. Good question. It's hard. I do try to think about other companies, and I love to support other brands, of course. Wheels are very weird right now because they're so friggin' expensive. Like, I thought Chroma was expensive, but I mean, Undercover is so expensive compared to where Chroma was. And we had to raise our prices a little bit. Our pricing went up about 10% year over year. So, what used to be 42, I think, for Chroma is now 44, 45. So it's just, it's the way that things are. But at least, with Chroma, you've got double-sided print, 3-color print, money going to a rider, packaging, stickers. Like, we try to make it feel like you're getting something for your money. I don't know. Just raising prices out of nowhere and saying these are the new prices, no reason, 40% more. It's kind of a weird flex, but whatever. Ravenous Pathogen, will you please start adding 10 packs for wheel selection? That's a really great idea. We do offer on the Balance Distribution website, we do offer all of our wheels as singles. So I do sell out Panda wheels. People buy 2 4-packs and then 2 singles, and I put them in a big tube like this. I will add them as 10 packs. We did that with the Mushroom Blading 80s. When we had those in stock, we brought in 10 packs, and we also offered 6 packs. So we had 6, 10, and 8. And actually the 10 pack sold out faster than any of the other sizes, which was super interesting. Trying to get skate shops to do it is a little bit more difficult, but if we have them, you can always buy singles. You couldn't with the Mushroom Bladings because we did them in the packs, but with Fitty Fitty or Compass, or you can't do it with Chroma, but Fitty Fitty or Compass, you can buy singles if you want. And with Mushroom Blading, we will have 10 packs. We always have 10 packs, with 80s especially, because I know that people like to ride the PR80s and wizardy stuff. It's a good question, though. A good suggestion, though, I should say. Carlos, hey Carlos, congratulations on the 100th episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you fill out the contact information. I can send you some free stuff. Freestyle Roland, would you consider doing 4 different color wheels in one pack, like the Spicer Crayolas? I think that's a very iconic thing that Randy owns, Like, it's weird doing that again. Like, that's his thing. We did do 2 different colors. So we did the Yondreels in a darker and a lighter orange, and I liked that. I don't know about different colors altogether, though. Different shades I can get behind to designate hardness. Color, they'd have to be really complementary in order for me to make it work. Otherwise, it's just, copying what Randy did. And I love Randy. I don't want to do what he did. I think he did it best. I love what Dead did, by the way. I think bringing back the Randys in the different colors, I think it's amazing. It was a really, really well done project. Chris Pauly Bloom. I forgot about Bloom. I don't know where they're made. Maybe Bravo as well. Maybe La Beta. Bloom is definitely a wheel company I forgot about. So yeah, Bloom is. I think they're fairly small, but they still do quality and really good art. So I'm always a sucker for really quality art. Eulogy, I guess, is out there as well. I didn't even think of Eulogy, but they're out there. Last question for the night. Roland Ashcroft, you don't review frames because you have a frame company. Are you still going to review skate boots after you make your own boot brand? No. So I will probably shift over to recreational boots. If there's something new coming out, a brand new boot, I will probably get it just to talk about it on Gear Talk. But again, I don't want to be that guy that, has a brand and then talks about another brand. Because I want to stay completely objective with things, and it's hard to not be biased when you've got your own brands. So my thought is that I'll probably hang up the reviews next year. Don't want to end this on a sad note, but probably end this on the reviews next year and probably switch over to fitness skates and recreational skates. To be honest, I've reviewed almost everything there is out there. I think the few skates that I haven't reviewed, maybe the triggers and the FRUFRs, I'm not really super interested in reviewing. There are probably a few others that I haven't reviewed. But if there's a new skate that comes out, I'll probably pick it up because I want to make sure that I have it here and talk about it. But I'm not saying that I'm only going to be skating my boot, but I'll definitely not want to review other people's boots. I just feel like that's a bad look. You know, I will promote other people's products, but I probably won't review other people's products, if that makes sense. Like, love promoting Wish, love promoting Red Eye, love promoting Dead, love promoting everybody who's making cool stuff. But I don't want to review them because I feel like that would be just not the right thing for a brand owner to do. Not to be sad, not to end this on a sad note, but I want to be realistic about it. I do actually look forward to reviewing some recreational skates. I loved doing all those rec skates when I was, really pumping them out during COVID. And actually, funny enough, they got a lot of views. And I feel like the reason is there's not a lot of quality recreational skate reviews out there. And we talk about trying to get people into skating. If people can get skates that fit their feet, that they're happy with, they'll stick with skating more. So for me to do a review and tell people that, hey, this rollerblade Zetra blade is actually a pretty good deal at $120 or whatever it is, it means something. And if I skate it and it hurts, or I skated the Blade Runners, which are like $70 or something, and the wheels just fell apart on me. They disintegrated on me. So that is something that I want to share with people. If you're out there skating, these are going to feel fine on your feet, but know that the wheels are going to fall apart and you can't replace the brake. You need a special axle for it, things like that. I want to do more of those reviews because I feel like that's something that is missing in the market. There needs to be more experienced people reviewing these skates to say this is what's good about them and this is what's bad about them. And if you want to get into skating, you're going to waste your money if you get these instead. Ultimately, that's going to bring more people into skating. So that's probably the future. Not that I'll turn my back on aggressive, but reviewing skates or products that I have my own product that competes. I don't want to be that guy. I'd rather be educational and lift everybody up instead of make it up and review things and say, oh, these are great, even though I don't really think so, because I feel weird about saying that something sucks. Good question, though. I wasn't going to talk about that, but yeah, I don't want to keep secrets if I've already decided on things. So yeah, it's probably going to be the end around this time next year. All right. I think we're good. I think this was a really good show. Where are we? Hour 45 minutes, right around the right time. Hope that you're doing good out there. Again, this is our 100th episode, so if you have been part of the show, if you've watched any of these shows, I really appreciate all the support. It's meant everything to me. I love coming out here every other Wednesday and spending an hour or two with my friends. Even though most of us, we've never met in real life, I feel like we have a connection. And if you were ever in Durham, I would love nothing more than a session. Come by, show you the wall, let you take some skates off the wall, take a look. If you've never seen them in person, come on by. This is where you can see them in person. You can hold them and everything. We will be having another event. So there is the Crowder Comp in March, April? I don't remember when it is. I think it's in May of next year. That's when the big event's going to be. So definitely plan on coming out for that. We will have an open house here as we did last year. So definitely plan on coming by for that. We do have a few video premieres coming up, and I always post that invite to the Back to Blading channel if anybody is interested in coming out for those. I try to give you about a month notice, at least a couple of weeks notice. video premiere is not a big event. So if you are a couple hours drive, that would be amazing for you to come on out. There would be a lot of great skaters out here in a community that you could skate with, great skate parks and everything, but getting on a plane for a video premiere is a little bit difficult to justify. Hotel for a video premiere is difficult to justify. But we're trying to do more events, more fun events, so that people can get together and we can be more a part of a community. There will be other events. I don't know if there's any that I'm planning on going out to. I was thinking about going to Blading Cup this year in November, I think it is. So I might go out for that. Probably won't have a booth. Maybe I'll have a booth. If we have a skate, I'll probably have a booth for that. But I don't know if I'll have a booth. I probably would just like to blend in and just meet people and say hey, and maybe have a nice back to blading session. We did that when I was out there in 2018, I think. We had a nice old man session, which was really fun. Just a dozen of us just got together and skated this little skate park nearby, which was really, really fun. So probably do something like that. But yeah, hope you're doing great. Hope that you're able to get out there and skate, and hope you're staying healthy. Everybody out there, knock on wood, we're all staying healthy. My poor mother-in-law was on a cruise. I don't know why she was on a cruise, but she was on a cruise because she loves cruises, even though she knows better. She got the COVID, and she ended up having to get airlifted from the cruise ship, airlifted over to a hospital in Iceland. That was a fun experience to go through here without having information and telling my friggin' daughter that grandma's going to be okay. Like, come on. Anyway, I'm not bitter or anything. Just be smart, be safe, live your life, wear a mask if you can. Don't go on cruise ships. It's pretty easy to avoid a cruise ship. I mean, it's not like it's going to come over and kidnap you and throw you on the cruise ship. It was a decision. Anyway, hope you are doing good. Hope you're able to go out and skate. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to sign up for the contest. I would love to give this stuff away. More people sign up, the better. And Helmet Initiative, backtoblading.com/helmet. And yeah, I think that's everything. I got everything covered. Hope you're doing good, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks.